Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up.
Day 2 is upon us in the studio. You know what? I thought about it long and hard. That was my open. I'd like to introduce everyone before we get to Lou on the end, because Lou's going through it today, ladies and gentlemen.
Lou.
Stadium insider Charania, Chandler P, Lou Will, and you saw a UFO last night. How are you feeling?
I thought I saw
Speak on it.
Yeah,
Speak on it. Staying on business.
I thought I saw something extraterrestrial-like.
Okay.
I was out on my balcony and I looked out and it kind of threw me for a loop. And like any other person in the world, I whipped my phone out because I thought I saw something amazing. And then I did some research on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and it was a SpaceX rocket. So
another one.
But I'm glad I finally saw it with my own 2 eyes. So when everybody's trying to debunk these things, I'm like, no, it's just a rocket.
Can I play devil's advocate here?
Let's
for a
hear
second?
it.
There wasn't really a publicized SpaceX launch yesterday. They had one a couple days ago, and the timing is odd for me. This could have been something else, Lou.
Shout out to your weed, dude.
I'm just glad they let me make it. And
They let you Did they probe you?
Who's they? Who's the they?
Who's they?
Yeah.
He's here now on behalf of a different group of people, aliens being. I think that's awesome that you saw that, and I'm happy for you.
You know what? Me too. I was excited about it. I couldn't wait to share it with the world.
And you did.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. We're gonna talk some basketball. Actually, we're gonna talk Anthony Edwards first. It's not often we start the show. He might actually be from a different.
Oh my! He is from another world. He's from west side of Atlanta.
Unbelievable.
So
John Collins is used to being on the other side of these.
I mean, he just. The fact that they put him in concussion protocol here to check for this,
Bro, I hadn't seen
makes it even that much better.
I hadn't seen a dunk do this much damage in one play since DeAndre Jordan.
He didn't get a chance to celebrate it.
You see the lights?
Yeah.
The lights are flickering.
I'm in
We
a
dying?
dogfight with a muscle relaxer right now, but are the lights flickering? Or am I having an actual seize on camera?
Did I take a muscle relaxer?
Holy shit.
I take one espresso shot and the world
sweating.
is unhinged right now. We were supposed to be talking about the dunk.
It was a dunk. Dunk of the year? I don't know.
Easily.
Maybe.
Dunk was insane. There's the whole, the how high he got, how he threw it in, how John Collins literally went.
Golly.
He left the game. He literally left the game.
He left the game.
And is questionable for the next game. That's how nasty this dunk was.
That's
Ant-Man, did Ant-Man, Shams, did he break his finger? What's the deal on that?
I think he said in his postgame, but he dislocated his finger, and then John Collins, a head contusion. That's what he was diagnosed with. He went through concussion protocol, diagnosed with a head contusion, and you know, obviously he was hit hard. I think this is the first time I have reported an injury off of a poster dunk.
Was that foul call?
Gotta be.
Yeah.
And one.
And one. If you're John Collins, do you just not act like you got hurt and play through this? Because
how?
The fact that we're talking about his injury after the dunk is pretty wild.
It's hard though with a concussion type situation because they're gonna make you go through some sort of something.
Yeah.
It's like a card thing.
Can't fake it.
I forgot, but it's like you have to match up the cards, and if you don't
Is that the
pass,
concussion test?
That's part of it.
Interesting.
We got
like a
some
game of
exclusive
memory.
insight right
like
here.
to do one of those right now.
You would never pass one right now. Anthony Edwards is not just a gift on the court because he gives us these moments like that, but when you put a microphone in front of his face, then the gift keeps going. So here he is afterwards.
You got a monitor right here, and you're going to talk us through what happened on that dunk. Here we go.
Ah! Oh my God. Hey, that was my best dunk of my career. I'm not gonna lie.
You've had some good ones.
I didn't even react because I dislocated my finger. You see it?
On your left hand too.
I couldn't react to it. I wish I could have reacted to it.
Look at his teammates too, or
This is
just
good.
they don't know where to go, who to help.
The best part about this is after the game going off the court, a kid asked him for his jersey, and he says, I can't, I got to give it to John Collins, to the fan.
No, he didn't.
Oh my
I
God.
swear.
He's good.
Conrad, pull the clip. I swear he says it to a fan. He is hilarious.
He's
Shout out to
quick.
Ant-Man.
He gets it.
And he's like this in real life. Hilarious in real life.
Well, he was great in Hustle, and I think that's where a lot of us figured out he was funny. But
What is that? The Adam Sandler movie?
yeah,
With Wancho.
really?
Or- yeah.
Okay, you're just on timeout. Anthony Edwards, in the league's current hierarchy, where are we putting him, you think?
I mean, he's an emerging face in the NBA. Obviously, you think of Anthony Edwards. He's someone who's been described to me as a guy that will be on the 2024 USA basketball Olympic team in Paris. And when you think about this roster that we're having the skeletons forming of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, I'm told Anthony Edwards fully wants to go and compete to start on this team. He views himself as someone that is going to go in there, and he brings a level of competitiveness, and you've seen it from Minnesota. The moment he got there, Karl Anthony Towns was already there. He went through his own era with Jimmy Butler. They made it to the playoffs, but you could just tell the competitiveness, the spirit that Anthony Edwards brings night to night. It's truly something special in Minnesota. You don't see it there. And he's a guy that set the tone for that franchise, set the tone on the floor, off the floor. And this team is just taking on his persona every single game. And Mike Conley Jr., I think, was the perfect get for them at the deadline last year. That's someone who's been a leader. He's been kind of that calming presence next to Anthony Edwards in that backcourt. So obviously Minnesota competing for number one in the league, Anthony Edwards competing to try to be the number one player in the league as well.
The world is not ready.
And not to mention, he's a great two-way player. And when you look at this Olympic team, yeah, we have a lot of scores, we have a lot of shooting, but Anthony Edwards, we know how good these European guys are getting. So now we have a guy that wants to be there, who can sit down, defend, play on both ends. I think he'd be a perfect fit.
He wants to start, though.
Now, listen, he'll be fine coming out of the bench, but this is a guy that is going in there. He's like a team with LeBron, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry.
He's not
like,
gonna start.
But you should want him to want to start.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's going to want to start,
Yeah.
but Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant.
And Devin Booker, it's tough for him to start.
Someday. Wasn't the only moment caught on film over the night. This one is Austin Reeves, who's
He almost jumped over him.
he really
Austin Reeves.
did almost jump over him.
Yeah, buddy.
What a
You know what,
intimate
though?
moment.
That's your guy, Lou.
Yeah, you got to stop letting your coaches set you up. Talk about taking charge. You better get in the air
Absolute
and meet him at
teammate.
the top. But shout out Jalen Johnson. I'm super proud of what he's been able to accomplish in such a short time. You know, barring the fact that he's had an opportunity to play, he's been a bright spot for the Hawks this year.
He's like this far from just clearing him.
Yeah, and he could have, honestly, if his feet were set, it could have
I'm
been
sure
a charge.
Austin Reeves would have preferred to be cleared.
Yeah.
And both of these dunks are
Pause.
and ones, so the whistle went the right way for the dunker both times.
That's tough.
That's tough. At least you could call it off, call it charge. No. And one for both.
And one.
I'm glad
By the way,
NFTs aren't like a thing anymore, because if both of these would be worth some money, right?
NFTs?
They have to ban charges on posters, right?
What? The UFO?
Can we talk about this?
He just brought up NFTs. I can't.
You don't remember when everybody was like buying
I
every
remember
little
when
image,
people spent
picture.
6 figures on things that weren't worth $1. But yeah,
How much are they worth now? How much are they?
nothing.
I don't know.
The paper they were
Never got
printed
into
on?
that.
Nothing.
I don't know. I never got it the first time. Thank you. Austin Reeves was asked about this one after the game. Here he is.
It would be negligent not to ask you, Austin, about.
See, this is why I don't like you.
I know. I'm a good reporter. What happened on that first play?
Everybody's seen what happened.
Nobody had your view.
You don't want my view.
Okay, that was actually an awesome exchange. The viewpoint is what we want to focus on. Have you ever had that viewpoint?
Yeah, you know I have, because we just watched it. I had a similar situation where the coaching staff, University of Florida, I'm blaming it on them. I tried to take a charge just like this to a little white guy from Vanderbilt, and he put his absolute nuts on my forehead.
Shout
Kind of
out
similar
Brad
to
Tinsley.
this. Brad Tinsley was his name. He absolutely banged on me.
Lou,
I can't say I have a memory of that happening.
this viewpoint's never been your viewpoint.
We're gonna find something.
We're going to find something now that you've put that out there. We will get to the bottom of it. That was 2 fun dunks, and we will actually get to a game now, believe it or not, because the Knicks in San Francisco taking on the Warriors. 4th straight win for them, 119-112. No OG Anunoby for the Knicks. That's a bummer, but Brunson, 34-7-5. Miles McBride had 29 points. Curry with 27-5-5. Jalen Brunson right now is averaging just over 40 points a game on the Knicks' current West Coast trip. Look, best point guard in the Eastern Conference. Where are we putting him, Chandler, at this moment?
I mean, he just continues to get better and better. And his thing, he's so big and he's so strong. A lot of other point guards, they can't guard him because he kind of plays almost like Luka in a way where he controls. He plays. You can't speed him up. He gets in the paint. He knows how to use his body really, really well. And people keep asking, can he be a number one seed? He is the number one seed, the number one option on this team. But can he be the number one option on a championship team? I don't know. I think the 2, 3, 4, those other role players have to be very, very good. But you can't deny what this kid is doing. He continues to get better. He was great in college, and I think a lot of people had this idea of him just a great college player, not sure his ceiling in the NBA. And he's proven everybody wrong. He's the heart and soul of this team. He's an all-star. He's an all-NBA caliber player. So yeah, I think he is the number one option on this team, and we'll see how far they can go. See what matchups they end up getting. But he's had a great year, and he's gotten so much better.
It's hard not to root. I mean, if you don't have a team or what, it's hard not to root for this Knicks team, and it is because of him, Lou. There's something about Brunson that has just gotten the fan base more riled up than usual, because New York Knicks fans are always loud.
They respect good basketball, and he plays hard. That's the one thing that you can ask for from a fan base, especially from your superstar players, the guy that you're going to put the organization inside of their hands. And Jalen Brunson has been nothing short of that. He's played at a high clip all season. He's embraced the culture of New York City. He's embraced everything that's been asked of him. He's an all-star guard. For years to come, he's going to be that. And they hadn't had that type of guy. They hadn't had that caliber of guy in quite a while. So for him to bring that to their fan base and for them to have success, they've embraced him.
And not to mention, he's the perfect star for New York. He's humble. He's zero distractions. He's a leader. He's not going to get caught up in the hoopla of New York.
His humor's so dry.
He just wants to hoop, and people embrace him. Guys love playing with him. Coaches love coaching him. So he is the ideal star, especially in that market with that many distractions. Jalen Brunson's perfect.
He's where he's supposed to be, Shams. But the OG Anunoby of it all, it's like he just got back. Now he's out again. What's up?
Yeah, OG Anunoby has inflammation in that elbow that was surgically repaired in February. Obviously, that's got to be an issue for the Knicks. He's out indefinitely. They're not sure when he's going to be back. That elbow has to get right before he gets back on the court. For him to have inflammation in that elbow just so soon after surgery and coming back after multiple weeks off, that's got to be a concern. And they're also still without Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. We're not sure when Julius Randle will get cleared for contact that's necessary for him to come back from that dislocated shoulder. And the Knicks, they've had this hope, I guess, that Mitchell Robinson could come back, but still no sight yet of him.
It's the Knicks, Michelle. Two guys that come to my mind that have really taken advantage of the opportunity is Josh Hart. Guy played all 48 minutes last night, triple-double. And Isaiah Hartenstein, this guy, he was basically a bench player, role player. With Mitchell Robinson goes out, this guy's been unbelievable. He got them off to a hot start last night. He's great on the pick and roll. He's great in the pocket pass. He's great on the offensive glass. So these two guys have really stepped up in the absence of their main guys.
And McBride had a night,
and McBride
4 threes in the first half or something crazy like that. But we got to look at the Warriors for a second, because their bench outscored the starters by 10 points. That, Lou, can't be the way things get done here.
No, it's not good for them. But on the flip side of that coin, throughout the course of this season, we've been complaining about them needing a balanced attack, getting more production from their bench. And once they finally get it, now we're complaining. The reason why we're complaining is because it's a rare phenomenon, and it usually comes with a win. If your bench is gonna outscore the starters, that means, for me, if I see it on paper, to me that means it was a big night for the team, and this usually ends with a win. Unfortunately, that didn't work for the Golden State Warriors, and that becomes the problem. You got to get more production from your starting lineup, especially when your bench gives you this type of production that you've been asking for throughout the season. If they can outscore your starters, this is not going to be the recipe for success. This is not going to be a good thing. But if you can bottle this up and still get great production from your starters, I think this helps the Warriors in the long run.
Yeah, Lou mentioned it. It's funny. We nitpick. We talk about Steph Curry. Is he doing too much? He can sustain this usage, and same with Luka, and then say the bench outscores the starters and the Mavs. Now we're saying Luka didn't do enough. So, yeah, I think you need bigger games. Andrew Wiggins, 2 for 9, 7 points. Podziemski, 0 points. You do need that balance, but again,
if Brzezinski gives you 12 to 15 points, the outcome of this game may be completely
100%.
different.
And Steph is the only one in 20s. Chase Jackson-Davis had a great game. But again, we sit here and talk about how Steph can't do it all. He's getting older. LeBron can't do it all. And then when the bench actually plays better than the starters, it's an issue as well. So there's got to be a balance. Steph Curry is going to carry this team. He's going to score the most points. But yeah, they need 12 to 15 from Clay, from Wiggins, from Podzinski. They need everybody contributing. But you'd like to see the starters give them a little bit more.
What about the fact that the Rockets have won 5 in a row and they're 3 back now of the Warriors? I mean, we've had the Warriors and the Lakers as teams that nobody wants to face, but is there a chance here that they don't make the play-in?
For you to win 5 in a row and still be 3 games behind the 10.
Well, you had
without their best player too.
That says a lot.
Sengun.
I think this 10 spot is safe for the Warriors.
Shingun. Why are you saying it like that?
I don't know. It's fun.
Oh, great. It's going to be one of those days, ladies and gentlemen. We get to take a quick break because when we come back. Oh, that's right.
Psycho T.
There he is. Tyler Hansbrough standing by.
There.
We're going to talk some college hoops and other things when Run It Back returns.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up. Cause you're running with the big dogs. Tyler Hansbrough loves them up the morning. Running with the big dogs now.
Well, that was a different song choice, Tyler. I would just like you to know that now. 7-year vet, NCAA National Player of the Year in 2008, 2009 National Champion. He's repping it right now, North Carolina. Tyler is here. Beautiful, beautiful background that you've got going on there. First of all, we got to start out. You and Lou know each other. We try to figure Lou out. He's a mystery to most. What's he like as a teammate? Should we know anything?
Hey, Lou's a great teammate. Played 2 years in Toronto, also same high school class. Laid back dude, so I enjoyed my time with Lou.
Okay.
Thank you, T.
Well, that's not what we're learning, but we will
appreciate it, brother.
we'll take that into consideration.
I appreciate it.
Okay, nicknames. We love nicknames. Psycho T is on the short list of what I think are great nicknames. Who gave it to you, and do you love it, or are there times you're like, it's not my favorite?
There are times definitely when it's not my favorite, but I got that in college. And I got it with our strength coach, Jonas Saration at UNC, and he kind of gave it to me as a joke because I was a super quiet guy my freshman year, and then I'd have a few outbursts. But, you know, I'm my own dude, and so sometimes people can take the Psycho T and kind of apply it to my off-the-court lifestyle, which really isn't applicable, so they get a little confused and mixed up.
Psycho T is so strong.
No, he's super laid back. The Psycho T is funny because he said I'm laid back. He was the same type of laid back, but however, it could get intense every once in a while, and that's what made it fun.
I think that's okay. Like, you have to have a little bit of the rage in there. It's that time of year. By the way, everyone's got their brackets. Chandler's got his right here. We're sort of filling them out, but it feels like there's a lot of parity this time around. Do you think we're headed for a great tournament in your estimation?
I do, and the reason I say that is because the reason there's a lot of parity is because college basketball has gotten a lot older, and with the COVID year and with the guys that are 25 years older, they're in the 5th year, I think there's a lot to be said about that. And you saw last year like San Diego State, FAU, and some teams like that kind of emerge. I don't think it's quite like last year. I think the number 1 seeds may advance a little bit farther, and you're a little bit more secure with them, but. When I look at, it's always interesting to see, I say that there could be some breakout team that goes and has a nice little run.
Yeah, Tyler, I'm filling out my bracket here. I got all number 1 seeds going to at least the Sweet 16, then kind of from there it's a crapshoot. When you're filling out your bracket this time of year, what do you look for? Is it coaching? Is it an older guard that can score points? Is it a dominating big like Edie at Purdue? What do you look for when you look for a team to advance?
Honestly, I look for older teams, and I like teams that have had a good run throughout the whole year, but also I like teams that have had a really good run and have kind of lost early in the, in their conference tournament. And the reason I say that is because sometimes when you lose in your conference tournament, I think it makes a team's focus on what they're not good at and try to get a little hungry going into the tournament. With that said, I do like St. Mary's. To me, is a team that's very disciplined, that's kind of flying under the radar. They have some older guys. They play defense. And I think also defense wins in the tournament. These college kids are not used to playing on neutral courts. It's a little bit different. They're thrown off their routine. And so they can't rely on making shots. Teams that play defense and can win ugly, I think those are teams that are going to be a little more secure in your picks.
Yeah, Chandler got St. Mary's losing first round.
I know. I'm like looking at him.
No, that's not
smiling
true.
over here.
I got them beating Grand Canyon, but then I do have them losing to Bama in the second round. So what the hell do I know? There's obviously a lot of good players in this tournament. Who's the one player that you're most excited to watch?
I hate saying Zach Edey just because he's been so dominant, but I really feel like he hasn't gotten the credit he deserves. He has been dominating college basketball for 2 years. They didn't have the success that they wanted last year. They had an early round exit. Obviously, in the year prior, they got exited pretty quickly as well. So there's a lot of pressure on Purdue, and Edey has just been dominant. But also, Tennessee has this kid named Dalton Connect who can really get it going. And if he catches fire, he can get on a streak and really light some teams up. So it's going to be interesting watching those two players.
Right. Got to write this down.
Tyler, who is the most complete team in this tournament? I guess you could say UNC, maybe, potentially.
Yeah, you can. It would be hard for me to make that claim because we played UConn early on, and we got absolutely bully balled. UConn, to me, is the toughest, hardest playing team. They play a sophisticated style of offense. They make teams guard them throughout the whole game. You have to work defensively, and they are big and physical, and they play hard, and they will beat you up. UConn, to me, has been the most dominant team throughout college basketball this year. I really like UConn. UNC, we've gotten better as the year has gone on. We play good defense. We have, a lot of good transfers and some older players, so I definitely like us as well.
I know you mentioned St. Mary's, and I won't ask you to go through the whole bracket, but give me a couple of your Cinderellas. Who you think is going to make a real run?
I like Creighton. I think Creighton, they have a Kalkbrenner guy who is one of the best defensive players in college basketball. They also have a kid named Trey Alexander who's probably going to be an NBA pick. He can get you a bucket. They have Baylor Shireman who can light you up and score. But also they have this Stephen Ashworth kid. He's a fifth-year guy. You can rely on him late in the game. He'll make free throws. They're an older team. I like Creighton. I think they can make a run. That would kind of be my Cinderella. Even though they are a 3, I don't really think they've gotten the credit they deserve, and I think they can make a run.
Are you just taking side notes?
Chandler don't like Creighton either.
Chandler's the most.
I got them losing to Oregon second round, Tyler.
You might want to redo another bracket. You can have multiple brackets.
There's no eraser on this
you
pen.
should have done it in pencil. You're a blue blood guy. We're going to talk about the blue bloods right now. Who's got the best shot to go the furthest, in your opinion?
Come on now.
Well, I mean, he's got to. I have to ask.
You know what he's going to say.
Well, he might not.
It's got to be my Tar Heels. And listen, hey, Duke's shown some vulnerabilities throughout the whole year. They're a good team. They have the pieces, and I don't really think they've reached their potential throughout the whole year. But Filipowski, I really think that he's kind of an outside threat. But, Lively came on late for them last year, and they're realizing how important a rim protector is. And also Kentucky, they haven't consistently played defense all year. And they're young, but they have a high ceiling. They have a lot of guys that can score. If they show up and play defense, they could be a team that could actually end up in the championship game. It's just going to be, will they commit to the defensive end for Kentucky?
Tyler, we both played all 4 years at our schools here, and do you think the days of seeing that are done because of the NIL and the transfer rule? There's no real accountability, right, for kids, right? If they get more money, if they get more, they can just go and transfer and not sit out. Do you think the days of a 4-year guy at the same school are kind of dead?
They are. With that said, Armando, he's in his 4th year. For my Tar Heels, but it's getting rare. I'm not a big fan of the portal. The portal's actually open right now, so guys can actually enter the transfer portal as the NCAA tournament is about to begin, which isn't the most thought out idea of doing the portal. I think it should be after the college basketball season is over. But there's still a lot of issues with the NIL and the portal that I think will get smoothed out. But Chandler, I'm with you. I would like to see guys kind of stay at some schools a little bit longer instead of just going to different schools and transferring multiple times because, in the reality, you got to look in the mirror and, at some point realize, hey, I've got to improve my game. Maybe it's not just, the situation I'm in right here.
Yeah.
Now, Tyler, the name of the game nowadays. If you were in today's college game, would you entertain the idea of transferring schools for a bigger offer, or is
They
you
can be
bleed
much
blue
bigger
all
now.
through and through?
Like, what if Duke came through with a huge check?
Oof.
It doesn't matter the check that Duke would offer. I would stay at Carolina just based off of my loyalty and who I am. Now, everything is up for sale, with that said. Let's see. You know what, Lou? That's an interesting question. It'd be tough for me to leave Carolina because I think they could have figured it out. We get funding from somebody. But, with that said, I always think that kids should actually not be so worried about how much money they can make in college, because if they're good enough to make that money in college, then I think eventually the NBA, they'll have that career and make their money there somehow. That's just my thought.
Yeah, Tyler, the NIL, it's nuts. I always talk to, Joakim Noah, Tim Tebow, Johnny Football. You are that name for college basketball, so your NIL, gotta imagine you would have made millions of dollars. Do you ever think about, damn, if I played now, I would make this much, or, because it would be nuts?
I try not to. No, and I don't get too caught up in that. And honestly, I'm happy that the kids can get paid for it now. And I'm glad that somebody's reaping these benefits, but it's been, there was a lot of, in my opinion, rules that shouldn't have been in place in the NCAA. And now it just seems like it's a Wild West. But I am excited that these kids can get paid and get some money now.
Yeah.
What was sweeter, winning the national championship or knowing you went 6-2 against Duke in your career?
Oh, this is a national championship.
Fair, but is it close?
It wouldn't have felt right. No, it wasn't even close.
Good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Filipowski. We all have opinions on that entire ordeal. The court storming. What was your when you saw that? What did you think?
Honestly, I felt like they handled it the most Duke fashion they could handle it. And, a little bit it was a little bit over dramatized, from my opinion.
Chandler
People
wants
been
to
storming
ban court storming.
That's not true.
disagree.
I just said
Yes, you
I'm
did.
surprised there
Yes, you
hasn't
did.
been a situation where a whatever, punched something, or he actually had like a fight with a dude running up on him. I just said I feel like that is going to happen with
But then he
hundreds of
kicked the
thousands.
dude like 2 games later. He's not great.
Yeah, he did trip him. He did Grayson Allen.
He's not great.
No, I'm all for court storming. This is what makes college basketball special. The fans and the passion. And listen, I know some people said they should barricade the court and, arrest everybody. I thought that was a little extreme. Listen,
that was
hey,
ridiculous.
if somebody, protect yourself at all times. You should read the room as well. You're Duke, you're playing at Wake, you're about to lose. You can see the students starting to storm the court. Hey, maybe buckle up, brace yourself, or find a smoother way to exit. And, maybe there's some things that could smooth out as far as the home team, but I'm all for court storming.
Find a place to hide. We love Mount Rushmores in sports, always will. It's just fun to do. So we want a Mount Rushmore of the most annoying Duke players, in your opinion. I mean, this one, there's so many.
Ooh, so my top, 3? Let's see here. JJ Redick, just because he was so good.
For sure.
And so many people hated him in college. He kind of egged it on a little bit. I would put him up there. Then you got to go with Christian Laettner. Seems like he's just the poster boy for Duke. And you could say like Grayson Allen because of his tripping. He was very Duke-esque. Him, Greg Paulus. For me, Gerald Henderson probably up there.
Oh, why is that?
So,
Anything in particular that he did?
Something happened?
Me and Gerald pretty good friends now. But back in the day, there was a lot of hatred because of that incident. Those would be all my Duke guys up there.
Grayson Allen, I think, has to be the top, right?
Yeah, I
don't
didn't
know
even
if there's
play
a top.
college basketball, and I had a thing with Grayson Allen. I was like, I don't like this kid.
Yeah, it's punchable. We've got a nice moment we found between you and Lou Oh, what a gift this is about to
wow.
be for you, Lou. I'm kind of excited to see it. Oh, here we go.
I know exactly what you're gonna throw.
Oh.
What's that about,
To
buddy?
be young again, Tyler. To be
buddies.
young again.
Oh man.
This makes. I'm gonna show this to my kids. You wouldn't believe, my kids think I'm an awful person, so I gotta show this to them.
Look at you,
Not
so
bad,
young, Lou.
Hey man, I once upon a time I was flying.
Babies.
I thought I might have fouled him too, but
Yeah.
it looks
that's-
like it was clean.
I
No
deserved
tou-
the free throw.
Yeah, wow, deserved a free throw. Tyler, this has been awesome. This time of year is the absolute best. Best of luck to North Carolina. Maybe they'll upset some folks along the
Yeah.
way. We appreciate the time.
All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it.
Some Heat Sixers last night. Big win for Philly, 98-91. There's no Jimmy Butler, no Tobias Harris for Philly. Maxey had 30, 10, and 8. Oubre Jr. with 22, 11, and 4 blocks. Okay. Look, these two teams are in a battle as this thing stretches on, but both are missing pretty key players. Down the final stretch, I know Miami gets so much love, but we are in the stretch now, Lou. Who do you have more confidence in?
I was saying it yesterday. I still like the Sixers. You know, despite Joel Embiid being out, I thought they've been the more consistent team this year. Their supporting cast has been playing at the clip that they needed, and that was a big win last night. They got a lot of good production from Kyle Lowry. Shout out to Kyle. I thought he played well. He anchored that team on both ends of the floor and got them to a big win. But I've always liked the Sixers over this Heat matchup.
I go the other way. I think the Heat are more poised. I think Jimmy Butler is going to come back before Joel Embiid, which is going to give them a big, advantage there when they're going to be fully loaded. So I think with the experience they have, and Joel, he was, the favorite to win the MVP. When you take someone that critical off the team, yes, they have Maxey, yes, they have Oubre who are contributing. Tobias Harris was also out last night. So I think Joel is not going to come back unless he's 100%. Jimmy Butler is going to come back, so I think the Heat have a slight advantage.
My thing is this: who's gonna be 100% at this time of the year? That's 75 to 80% for going into the postseason. That's a really good percentage for guys that's been playing all year long. So if Joel Embiid can come back and be right there in the mix of guys that his body feels 80%, even though I've been one of those people that's been critical of him coming back this year because he's had a history of injuries with his knees and having those issues. If you can get him at 80%, I'll take Joel Embiid.
There it is, Shams.
That's the only reason I'm reluctant, is because I think with his injury, with his past, I don't think they let him even play if he's 80%. Unless he's 100% and unless he's ready to go, I don't even think they see a value in bringing him back for a possible play-in.
I mean, they're mentioning 80%. Where are we?
So Chandler, break it down. I know you've had meniscus. You know the body better than we do. Joel Embiid returned to the Sixers practice on Sunday, but non-contact. You did a lot of walkthrough stuff, a lot of non-contact stuff on the court. Obviously, Joel Embiid wants to feel right, and I think the Sixers want to make sure he's right before he gets thrown out there. But this, at the time when he had this injury, I said it's a 6 to 8 week injury. It's a 6 to 8 week return timetable. That puts him at late March, early April. They have a road trip that they're on, 4-game road trip through the 25th, so through next week. He is not traveling for that road trip, so obviously he's out at least through the 25th. They don't know when he's going to be back, but obviously the goal is that he's able to ramp up at some point in April and make it back. The question is, where's that team going to be? How's he going to feel? How's his rehab going to go? Is he going to make enough progress?
Yeah, that's the problem, is when you have that time period and you feel like you're rushing, you can't emulate a game in practice, right? So he's not going to get these reps before probably the playoffs start. So a guy like him, who's their everything on a huge contract, who's been injured before, it's tough. And meniscus, they try and downplay it. Anytime you go to sleep for a surgery, it's something severe, right? So I don't care what, like Karl Anthony Towns saying he's going to be back really soon. Like, no, he's not. He tore his meniscus. There's steps you have to take. There's, grueling rehab, and every single day, hours he's doing that. I like the fact that he's not traveling. If you're not playing, stay there with your trainer. Get because the flights, everything, that's not going to help. So again, I love the Sixers early without Joel Embiid, with just so much questions when he's coming back. it's tough for me to buy stock in them.
It's going to take him some time to get back to the form that he's used to. One of the things that's going to be beneficial to him, because he's Joel Embiid, he's going to get a lot of reps. He's going to get a lot of opportunities to work himself back in. It's not going to be one of those things where he's just running up and down the floor getting cardio. They're going to force feed Joel Embiid and make him play, and I think that speeds up everything that they need from him.
You also had no Jimmy, no Tyler Hero, and Duncan Robinson left this one in the second half. None of that is good news, Sham. So with the Heat, when are all of these pieces going to be back in place?
Well, we spoke about Tyler Hero. I mean, he had the PRP injection. He's going to be reevaluated either later this week, next week. So he's out indefinitely. They're not sure when he's going to be back. Jimmy Butler, he had a foot contusion. We'll see when he's going to be back. As well, but obviously they need those two guys in the lineup. At least Jimmy Butler will be back eventually, but
right.
And by the way, there's Jovic, there's Kevin Love, there's Josh Richardson. They have a lot of role players that are still not playing. So this team is nowhere near to be complete. If they find a way to get that healthy, yeah, then we're looking at that Heat team that everyone's scared of in the postseason.
That's
classic Miami, though, right? Banged up and still fighting and trying to figure out.
And then watch, they're going to get a favorable matchup in the first round, and they'll all be healthy, and it's going to be a dogfight.
It's kind of crazy how that works out for them. Cavs-Pacers, another game that occurred in the evening. Look, Cavs are doing it. 108-103 win. No Donovan Mitchell. Karis LeVert, 23-11-8. Jared Allen, 23-9. Halliburton had 14. Siakam had 19. But with this win, look, they're sitting in the third spot. The Pacers are in the sixth. If the playoffs started today, Lou, these guys would face each other. Who you got?
I like the Cavs. We don't give them the credit for being as deep of a basketball team as they are. They got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the hole. It looks like the chemistry is there, the camaraderie is there. They enjoy playing with each other. Even, early in the year where Donovan Mitchell said, I really enjoy being in Cleveland. I want to be here, when all of the rumors were swirling around him and the Knicks. And so with him being healthy going into the postseason, with having all of these weapons, having Karis LeVert playing really good basketball for them, that's going to be an added plus. And besides that, the Pacers have been a completely different team, to me, in my opinion, since the play-in tournament. I had really high hopes for them, but they've kind of settled into being in the middle of the pack basketball team. And so with that, I like the Cavaliers. They're just playing better basketball, playing more consistently.
That's one round.
Yeah, I like the Cavs. I think it'll be a great series. I think it'll go 6 or 7. But the Cavs, I always talk about when they were healthy for that 2-week stint.
Yeah.
They were unbelievable. They went on a run, and this team is offensive firepower. Mobley, they have rim runners. They have great bigs, so they're a deep team. So I do like the Cavs in this series, but I don't think it'll be easy. I think it'll go 6 or 7.
Tyrese Halliburton, by the way, bit of a slump. So he's averaging just under 16 points, 9 assists since he came back from the hamstring injury. In the 34 games before that, much higher in points and assists. Are we concerned? Because you're mentioning the fact that you don't see the same Pacers team at all. I would have to believe this is a big part of it.
There got to be a little bit of concern. I think a lot of his game was predicated on him making shots. And when you're going through a tough stretch where you're not making shots at a high clip, you got to rely on other things. And he's used his passing ability to kind of to get him over that hump, but that hasn't been good enough. And if that's your marquee guy and he's not scoring at a high clip, not giving you what you want, especially when you're an offensive-minded basketball team, that can be problematic for you.
Yeah, it's tough when he's struggling and they have guys like Benedict Mathurin that are out for the season. That's another 20 points off the bench who's a very good scorer. So Halliburton is their engine. He's got to be dominant. He's got to be damn near perfect for them to have a chance. And when he goes through struggles like this, you see it results in losses.
Shams, they had Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland did, for the couple of games before this. Didn't look quite right. Now he's out again. What's the approach for him specifically as we go down the stretch?
Well, he's dealt with his bone bruise issue in his knee, and so he had PRP treatment. He ends up coming back, but you have to be cautious with a guy like that, especially coming off bone bruise. Already had PRP, but this is a Cavs team that's dealt with a bunch of injuries all year. Evan Mobley still out. Not sure exactly when he's going to be back with his ankle sprain that started off with him in a boot, and he's slowly getting back and doing more and more every single day. But this is a team that's dealt with injury, dealt with adversity. They still won last night. And shout out, I know Lou's boy, Marcus Morris, signed a 10-day contract with the Cavs, had 14 points, handful of three-pointers last night, already making an impact there.
And this is a time of the season when a team like the Cavaliers, they can be cautious and they can afford to lose a couple games now just to get healthy for the playoffs. I think that's the big picture. So if they go in the playoffs today and they're missing Mobley and they're missing Strus, that's big. This team needs to be complete. They need Donovan Mitchell fully healthy. He's a top 10, top 15 player in this league when he's going. So they need that, especially in the postseason. But they're going to they're going to finish third. right? They're not going to catch Milwaukee, so they're going to get one of these teams that's going to be a favorable matchup. So like, be healthy, no matter what. Drop a couple games now to get to that point.
But when you add a Marcus Morris, you want to make sure that chemistry is there. You want to know that he's a fit to help you do everything you want to do. So you want to be cautious, but you also want these guys in uniform to make sure everybody's ready to go.
The stretch is upon us. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, a little more Run It Back.
Run it back, yeah. Run it up, then run it back. Run it back. Run it up, run it back, yeah. Run it up.
Oh, a little you buying that. This first one, Chandler, DeAndre Ayton claimed that his early season struggles were sleep-related, which is fine, except for that the problem was he was sleeping on an air mattress. Anyone?
Okay. No, I'm not buying that, but he should just buy a bed.
Seems like an easy fix.
He's on a nice, financially stable contract.
Like
if I'm sleeping on an air mattress, I'm getting a hotel suite. I'm doing anything other than doing that. So
That's a large man on an air
I'm not
mattress.
buying that. Buy a bed, rent a furnished apartment, do anything other than sleep on air mattress and then use this as an excuse of why you struggled early. I think it's
when you get
ridiculous.
traded, they give you a place. It's usually going to be a 5-star hotel.
Ooh.
If you're DeAndre Ayton, I don't think you went to Target and bought an air mattress. Whoever works for you, your assistant or whoever, if you sent them to go get an air mattress, they should be fired. No.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm pretty sure the team puts you up right when you get traded.
Until you're settled?
Until you
I've been
figure it
traded
out.
a couple times. They put you up for 4 months.
Did you ever sleep on an air mattress?
$4,500 a month to go find your own place.
So he's lying.
I ain't gonna say he lying. I'm just saying if you went to go buy an air mattress, you as much responsible for this bullshit as anybody else.
Yeah.
But also in this day and age, there's so many companies with mattresses that will literally be delivered within like 24 hours that are good mattresses. I don't really get it.
That's why we're calling cat machine.
Okay, so we're saying lies.
You're rich. Go stay in a hotel till your bed is there. Like, it makes no sense.
Very odd.
Not buying it.
All right, we're not buying that one. First one. Blue, one of Kobe's championship rings, is currently up for auction. Right now, the bid's at $94,000. Are you buying that?
I wouldn't buy it, and I'm not buying this. You know, you hate to see things like this, especially when it's something that Kobe Bryant worked hard to earn, and he wanted to share that experience with his family, with his father. And so for this item to be put in a position where somebody else can possess it, I'm not a big fan of this. Especially with everything that's transpired with the Kobe legacy and family and everything like that. I would hope that these type of things stay within their circle of people. So I hate to see this. I'm not buying it, and I wish nobody else would buy it. But, you know, obviously there's diehard Kobe fans.
Sure.
People would spend a lot of money to have an opportunity to have this item.
Yeah, it's a Lakers issued player ring that he gifted his dad. So yes, his dad is selling it. Chandler, Hornets forward Grant Williams says that LaMelo Ball is a mix of Luka Doncic and Tyrese Halliburton. You buying that?
I mean, not to that extent, but LaMelo Ball can hoop, and he is big, and he can dish the ball, and he's got great vision, so I can see the similarities in their games, how he does. He plays at his own pace, and he, gets guys involved like Halliburton, but I don't think he's quite to this level. I respect Grant Williams for being the new guy on the team and backing his new point guard.
Yeah, yes or no?
I kind of am in a weird way. Like, I think LaMelo Ball is very good, and I can kind of see the similarities in both their games on the court now. So, again, is he as good as either of these guys? No. But when you look at his game of basketball and how he plays, where he's a bigger guard that can pass the ball, that can score, that can shoot, I see it.
I'm not buying this. I'm not buying it, not because of the comparisons. I think LaMelo Ball does a great job of being the first version of LaMelo Ball we've seen. He's a deep scoring threat, plays at a high pace, does all of the things that he needs to do. I don't think he's a mix of these guys. I think he's a great version of LaMelo Ball.
His own man. There was a jersey swap on Sunday. It blew
Oh,
up the internet.
What?
We're doing it.
Are we buying that this is the greatest jersey swap of all time? I don't get it.
Well, by the way, the
What's
video,
wrong?
too, they were on the other side, so
They
they
were.
knew what they were doing. Grady Dick,
Well, why wouldn't you?
I mean, it's hilarious.
It's right there.
I'm curious to know who cared about these two particular guys swapping jerseys to create this moment. Who was?
Yeah, like, are they boys, though? And they texted before, like, yeah, this would be hilarious. Like, let's...
Look, we all, at the end of the day, have the humor of 12-year-olds.
I
And
love
so
this.
they
humor.
also have
This is
that.
something I would do.
I would definitely.
I think it's hilarious.
And they went and got the
I'm a
photographer.
little weirded out. Are they both white?
No, I think black is.
You wouldn't be
black
weirded
is
out if
black.
two white guys wanted to make a statement based on what they're making
So
a
if it was
statement
Derek
about?
White and Dick and it was White Dick, would it be funny?
Listen.
It's funny, regardless. What do you mean? It's fun. It's hilarious.
It is hilarious, but it's a little weird.
What about Jalen Brown? It was Brown
Oh,
Dick.
Brown is good.
I mean, we're talking about an array of dicks here. Either way, it's funny.
Listen, it could be a generation of dicks. Cool.
Right.
But, like, who cared is what I'm
I'm
asking.
thinking of other players now.
We all cared. We all cared, Lou. Are you done? You have any more colors?
Nothing's coming to mind.
Okay, but if you think of any, just tell me.
Any more colors?
Doc Rivers says that Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and Chris Paul should have their jerseys retired with the Clippers.
Wow.
You buying that?
Hell yeah, I'm buying it.
Okay.
I really, 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 really hope they get their
Put
jerseys.
Lou Will in there, too.
Yeah,
That's
Lou
what.
Will.
Yes,
Some respect on his name.
This is what I'm vouching for. If Chris Paul is going up, and Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, hey, I had an impact on the Clippers as well. Jamal Crawford had an impact on the Clippers as well. We did really great things for that organization. Retire all of our jerseys.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm buying it.
Well, the new building's going to need some decoration.
Hey, listen,
buying
I'll
it.
take it. Put the 23 up there.
Yeah, I'm buying it for sure. And this team was cool. This was fun to watch. The whole Lob City, they made the Clippers cool for the first time in a really, really long time. So I'm for all of them. And my boy Lou Will.
And Lou, of course. Chandler Boogie Cousins was asked about the future of Trae Young in Atlanta. His response, and I quote, "I hope this is the last time I see him in a Hawks uniform. I feel like his talent is being wasted. His prime is being wasted." You buying that?
I am. I'd love to see him somewhere else. I'd love to see him, go to a contending team. I'd love him to pair up even with a Wembanyama, something like that, where I do feel like Trae Young is so good at basketball, and for whatever reason, whether it's been the coaching changes or the turnover in Atlanta, he's never got the credit he really deserves. He's put up great numbers this year and barely got into the All-Star game. So I do think it. I think he's kind of peaked. I think his time is done in Atlanta, and I'd love to see him go somewhere else, play on a bigger stage, and be wanted and be loved.
I hear some.
You don't like that?
Going on over here.
We're
listen,
disagreeing today.
That's your opinion. That's
What about
Boogie
Trae
Cousins'
Young with
opinion.
the Grady Dick, the Young Dick jersey swap? Are you cool with that?
No, because now I'm offended as an old person.
I'm not touching this. I'm an Atlanta guy.
You're not touching which part?
I'm an Atlanta guy through and through. I love Trae in the Hawks uniform. I wish they could just give him a consistent ecosystem where he could grow, where he could be the best player he can be.
But do you think his ceiling would be
but-
higher if he was somewhere else? Maybe
Who's the
with the Wembanyama,
Yeah,
for
who's
example.
quite possibly, but the reality is that's not what it is right now. And so, as long as he's in a Hawks uniform, I'm a Hawks fan.
All right, fair enough. KD.
Like that, Sean.
Yeah, it's a good
Very,
answer.
very good answer.
I'm
Very
laughing.
professional, but I don't expect anything less from
I'm dancing here.
It was
It's my
very
city.
pro. All right, Katie said he'd love to bring the Supersonics back to Seattle. That'd be awesome. After he retires, saying it'd be a dream come true to help run the team. Are you buying Katie as a great owner/GM?
I'm buying the fact that he's excited about it. I think Seattle is a market that absolutely deserves an NBA team. I've had the privilege of playing there for the first 2 years of my career. Electrifying atmosphere to play basketball. I'm not buying the fact that star players can be great owners and GMs because I don't think they have a great eye for role players. I think they always look for themselves in guys. I think that's why you've seen struggles with Michael Jordan as an owner and those because he's looking for Michael Jordan. He's not looking for the 8th, 9th guy.
He doesn't understand why you're struggling.
He doesn't
What's your problem?
Yeah, he doesn't understand it. And so KD has a level of excellence for himself that he's going to expect from other guys. Until somebody changes it, that's a high-level guy. You see a lot of role players in these positions have success. I'm yet to see a superstar guy have it.
Yeah, I think to be involved, to be like a Dirk in Dallas type of situation where the next generation can see him, learn from him, grow from him. I think it makes sense. But yeah, to fully run a team, who knows? I guess
That's
time
a
will
tough
tell.
one. We made it through the show, you guys. It was a wacky, wild one, but we did it.
I had fun.
All right, sleep it off, and we will be back here same time tomorrow.
Run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back.